All right, hey everybody, it's Sam here with Lace and Buck Designs. You can't see me, but hi. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is a bad angle for bags under my eyes. I am just pulling up my video on my laptop over here, so give me 1 second. Nope, that's not it. Hang on, you guys. It's coming. Nope, that's my phone. That doesn't help. I'm just waiting for the notification to come up on my computer that I am live so I can watch it on my computer. Hang on. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, so you guys, this table is, so if you write comments, I can see it on the computer next to me and I can respond. This is a table that I used to use to stain wood. So this table is wrecked. And as far as my floor, this is just a spare bedroom, you guys. So just bear with me with the floor. So this is my bow tutorial. We're going to be using 3 different types of ribbon. And I found zip ties. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be using a 2.5 inch ribbon. I'm going to be using a 1.5 inch ribbon, and which totally unraveled. So let me just ravel this back up. And another 1.5 inch ribbon. Hey Carol. So I'm going to be using these 3 ribbons. And I've got my fabric cutting scissors that you guys all see me use. I could probably take these to get sharpened somewhere. They're getting a little bit dull. I don't know if you can really see this, but right here, they're a little rounded. So I need to get them sharpened. I feel like it's probably cheaper to get them sharpened than to buy a new pair. And I have zip ties, but if you don't have zip ties, you can always use a pipe cleaner. Totally up to you. So I've got both. And yeah, so I can see comments. Let me see here. Hey Tracy. All right, so cool. I got the comments up. We're good. Very cool. All right, so what we're going to start with is our 2.5 inch ribbon. I always use that on my back layer of my bow. So I'm going to put my 1.5 to the side. And we're going to do this really slow for everybody who wants to learn, okay? So, cute little pattern, funky sweaters, Christmas sweaters. So, let's just get into it. So I've got, this is the Pro Bow, the EZ Bow Design Pro. So this is the one that's a little bit thicker and it's a lot longer than the old one. So I have the original one as well. I don't use it as often. I actually never use it. I don't want to say as often. Thank you, Tracy. It's good to have you here. So this one I like because when I put my roll of ribbon on, I can make bigger loops. I never go past 6 just because I feel like it's a little bit bigger. I will go to 7 inches when I'm doing a tree topper, however, but 6 is my standard. So that's what I'm at. So this dowel, when you buy your Bowmaker, it comes with the dowel and not attached. I've actually, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little glob of hot glue down here. I've actually hot glued this on, and this is a plastic piece. The difference between the old Bowmaker and this was, on the old one, 3 wood dowels. This is 1 solid piece. You can see it gets hammered into the back. So these don't move and come off. So this is what makes this a better version. Okay. So right off the bat, we're going to go in with our 2.5 inch ribbon. Okay. Like I said, this is the 2.5 inch. All my ribbon is wired. That means, just in case if you're new to the ribbon world, what that means is that there is 2 little wires inside. I don't know if you can really see them, but on the edges here, there's a wire inside. And that allows me to make stiffer designs with my ribbon. You always want a wired ribbon. I don't even have any non-wired to show you, but non-wired would just be like something that you wrap like around a box for a gift. This is something that you make a bow with, because that's how you make those beautiful loops. So you put your ribbon on your dowel, and then what we're doing, we're going to measure how long our tail is going to be, okay? I know a lot of other people, what they do is they will measure their tail cut it off and then start completely different. And that's a different technique, and I can show you that another time. That's not what we're doing here tonight at all. So let me know, can you guys see this okay? Do I need to move the camera? I feel like it's okay. I'm not sure. I'm kind of scared to move anything because I don't want the camera to fall down. All right, so what we're gonna do, I usually do a 10-inch tail. So you can see here's 0 right here where the dowel is, and here's my 10. I'm gonna move it this way. This way. Okay, so here's the 10-inch right here. Okay, so I usually, what you see me do real quickly before I put my ribbon in, I just measure it out to 10 inches right here. So that's what I do. And then we take our design side, because you see there's no design on the back. There's a design on the front. Some ribbons do have a design on both sides. This one doesn't. So we're going to put our ribbon in vertical, right through the slots, and we're going to twist it just like this so that our design side is up. So did you see how I did that? So I took my ribbon and I held it up, straight up and down. I put it in between the dowel, and what I did is I took one hand and I twisted the ribbon so that the non-printed side is up on this side and the printed side is up on this side. Okay, so that's how we're going to start off. This is my tail, and this is the start of my loop. This unprinted side is the start of my loop. Okay, so I'm going to come out to 6 inches. I'm going to go right here to 6 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unravel some ribbon. You guys probably see me do this a lot too. I like just to unravel a whole bunch. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the unprinted side, unprinted, and I'm measuring right to 6 inches, right here at the 6-inch mark, and I'm folding it over. Okay, so now I have my printed side up, and I'm taking that ribbon and I'm putting it right into the dowels, and all I'm doing is putting my finger here and making sure that we level up to 6 inches right here. So we want to make sure that we have a 6-inch loop right there. Okay, then I'm going to take my ribbon here at the dowel and I'm going to twist it in the opposite direction. And what that does is it leaves me a printed side up, and the non-printed side on this side now. Okay, so we've got one 6-inch loop right here with the printed side. Okay, so I'm going to push my tail down out of the way, and now I've got my unprinted side. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going right out to 6 inches, and I'm going to put my ribbon right in between the dowels. Now I've got my printed side up here. I'm going right to 6 inches. And again, I'm just going to twist. And that makes sure that I twist my ribbon so the unprinted side is now on here. So that's all we're doing to make the loops, okay? So I'm going to do this 4 times for this back ribbon, okay? So I'll do it kind of slow just so everybody can see what I'm doing. So I've already explained to you how we make the loops. Now I'm just going to show you that I'm going to make them, okay? That part for me was always the hardest when I first started, was figuring out how to do the twists. That was my hardest part. Okay. So again, unprinted, and I flipped it around, and we have the printed side, and now we twist it. So that's what you guys see me do a lot, is when I'm twisting it. Any questions so far? Are we all good? All on the same page? Am I going slow enough for everybody? If you have questions, now is the time to ask. Okay, so if you have any questions about what I'm doing right now for the back layer, now is the time to ask. Let me know. All right, so now you can see I've got 2 loops on each side. Okay, we're gonna keep going until I have 4 loops on each side. Again, we're just measuring out to that 6-inch mark. And once I have those other loops there, I just measure out to where those loops are. Okay, and again, we're going to twist our ribbon. Sorry if my head's in the way. Wendy, this is the best Bowmaker. It is the absolute best. I mean, I like the original one as well, but this one is hands down the best. I have watched tutorials on the Pro Bow, the hand, and I could not for the life of me figured it out. I had a Bowdabra, couldn't figure it out. This is the only one that kind of made sense to me, and clearly it works. Okay, so this is my 4th loop with the 2.5-inch ribbon. Okay, good. I'm glad that it's not in the way. Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, the Pro Bow looks like a lot of work, and I get really confused, and it seems like a lot of fluffing is involved. So to those that can use it, I give them a lot of props. Okay, so now we're on our last loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to twist this part. I'm going to leave it up because I want my tail. This is my second part of my tail. I want the design facing up, okay? I want to do the same length. So I'm just looking at this length, and I'm just going to cut it right here. Okay, so this is the bottom layer of my bow. Okay. So I don't typically do this, but I've been doing well, Wendy. I'm getting back into wreath making, working my full-time job. My kids are getting huge. It's been crazy busy. Before I go on, what I'm going to do is something that I don't typically do when I'm making a wreath, but I'm going to show you how it looks fluffed, okay? So I'm going to fluff this just to show you how it's going to look as a finished bow, okay? So you can see already the shape of the bow is coming along. And doing this, if you want to do this while you make your bow, doing this allows you to kind of fix any wrinkles that you have in your ribbon and kind of place it really nicely, just kind of fix it up a little bit, okay? So, thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oops. There, I sent you a little heart. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do that I also don't typically do is I'm going to show you how to dovetail the ends. So what that means is that you have a little triangle cut out. It looks very classy. Some people, for some reason, don't do that, and that's okay. You can do whatever you want, but I love to dovetail it. So all I do is I take my ribbon tail, I fold it in half, and make sure that the seams are touching, just like this. You take your very sharp scissors, and please do not put your fingers in the way. Do not dovetail your fingers. And you cut it at an angle, just like that. And then you have this beautiful edge on your ribbon tail. See? Beautiful. And then you do it to the other side. I like to do them together so they're always the same length. But I didn't do it just now. And these are garbage. Okay. So this is our base layer. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I've got this pattern, which I liked because I thought it kind of looked like a little bit of a sweater. So I was like, really liked it. And then I have this red one. And I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put the red in the middle and then put this one on top. So we're going to do the red. So this is my 1.5 inch. I always end with my smaller ribbon on top. Just like when I tell you that I'm building my wreaths with the largest items and then I go down to my smallest. Same thing with my bows. So I'm going to put this on my dowel. Okay. Now for this one, do a totally different technique. So pay attention to this one because I'm not going to have my ribbon tails coming down. I want them coming up this way. Okay. So I know that there's another amazing, incredible bow maker named Amanda Fry. She is the one who taught me how to make bows, and she is incredible. Absolutely top notch. What she likes to do is she will cut off a piece of ribbon and make her ribbon tail just like this. I personally don't do that just because when I tried it, it didn't look the right way. So I just do mine a little bit differently, and that's okay. That's all what crafting is. That's what life is, finding your own groove, right? So this is how I found my groove doing this. So I take my ribbon, and instead of putting my tail down, I put my ribbon into the dowels and I twist it and I just move it up to the top. That's it. Not hard, okay? Oh my goodness, Wendy, I am so sorry to hear that. Well, anything that I can do, anything I can craft that you can watch, please feel free. I've been doing a lot of lives lately, although I will say they've been the same wreath over and over again, but I'm always around. Okay, so I've got this tail coming up, okay? So I'm going to make 6 loops, and these are going to be smaller. These are going to be my 5 inches. So you can see I've got the 5-inch mark right here. So our first loop was 6, now we're going to 5, okay? So we're just going to take our ribbon, and we're going to make a 5-inch loop. So again, measuring it to 5, right here, 5 inches, and we're just going to put that right into the dowel. And I know that this isn't double-sided, okay? And well, I'll send you pairs too, Wendy, absolutely, always. Even though this isn't double-sided, we're still going to twist our ribbon, okay? Twist. And then my ribbon keeps going underneath the table here. Then we're going to come to the other side, and we're going to do our 5 inches here. Okay, so 5 inches on this side, and again, twist. And I'm going to do 3 loops of this on each side. So 2, 2, 3, third loop, third loop, third loop. So these are my 3 loops, okay? Now, how I did the tail going down on my first layer, I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to move my tail up. We're going to cut right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dovetail my ends and snip. Although that might be a little long, so I'm going to trim it just a little bit. And like I always say, tails are like bangs. You can cut them too short, so just be careful. Okay. Okay, so here I've got my 3 layers. So what I'm going to do, once again, I'm going to fluff it out. Push it down. So this is really what I do when it's on the wreath already, okay? But I'm doing it now so you guys can see what it looks like as I make it. Okay, here's my tails up at the top, and my loops, my loop down here. Oh, Wendy, thank you so much. Okay, so here we've got all of our loops. Okay, so this is what the bow looks like. Okay, I'll let you guys look at that for a minute. Okay, so we have our bottom loops, we have our middle loops. Now we're going to do our top loops. Okay, so we've got this pretty, like I said, I picked this one out because it kind of looked like the pattern of a sweater. And since we have sweaters all on our bottom, I figured it was a great match. So we're going to put this here. And I think we're only going to do four, so 2 and 2, because I only want 4 loops total. So this is going to have tails coming down. So we're going to put this right into the dowel. We're going to have it, and I like these tails a little bit longer, so I'm leaving this a little bit longer. And again, we're going to twist. So my tails are facing fabric side or pattern side up. And these are going to be smaller. I don't typically measure the small ones. I think I mentioned that earlier in my live. I just kind of eyeball them. It's not the best way to do it, but it works. I just know I'm going to be doing about 3 inches. So you can see it's about 3 inches. Once you've been doing this for a while, you can kind of see it and figure out how you want it to be. Again, make sure that you're twisting. That's the most important part, is the twist. So I only want 2 loops on each side with this. And you don't have to twist the last layer because you want your pattern staying up for your tail, okay? So you're not going to twist your last one. Okay, so now I've got this in here. I'm holding down the middle just so that I can move my little... So this is exactly like the bow that I made on the cardinal wreath earlier today, just different ribbon. Same exact technique, same number of bows of, loops. Couldn't think of the word. Okay, so you guys, this is where I always get anxiety. Okay, so here's the beautiful bow. And I trim my tails. Okay, tails. Beautiful, beautiful bow. So I have 2 options. I can use a pipe cleaner. I don't want to do that because this is a thicker bow. If this was just a 1 or 2 fabric bow, I would. So I'm going to use a zip tie. And these are ridiculously long zip ties, but it's okay. It's good to still show you how to use it. Okay, so I have my zip tie, okay? Y'all know how this works, right? You fold it, this part goes into the square part, you pull it together, and it goes, and then it makes the thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to tilt this a little bit, because I'm going to show you. This part is the tricky part, okay? This is, it always gives me a little bit of anxiety. What I like to do is I put my hand under the bow, okay? So watch what I'm doing, okay? My hand is completely under the bow. Can you see that? Completely under the bow. And see how my fingers are on both sides of the dowel? That's important. Okay, so now what I do is I'm going to lift it up completely from the bottom. I'm not using this hand to do anything. I'm just holding the dowel. I'm lifting the bow up from the bottom. With this thumb, okay, this thumb right here, I'm going to hold it at the opening of this dowel right here, so that when this whole bow comes up, I can pinch the whole thing down together. Okay, so my hand is holding the bow on the back, just like this, and my thumb is holding the top. Okay, and as I'm moving the bow up, I'm squeezing my hand together. So I'm basically doing like this. Okay, so that's the motion that I'm doing. And you can see my fingers turning white because I'm pinching it really, really, really hard because there's a lot of ribbon here. Okay, you can see there's an opening right here. Okay, that's where my zip tie is going to go, right through my fingers here. Okay, And I'm going to slide it under my thumb quickly. And then under here, we're going to put it through the zip tie. Okay. And we're going to pull. And I'm probably going to have to use my teeth. Now before it gets really, really, really tight, I still have a lot of leeway here. You take your pipe cleaner and you put it through the loop in your zip tie. That's so that we can hang this on a wreath, okay? Now you pull your zip tie really tight, as tight as you can. Then you can take your wire cutters, which are on the other table, I can't reach them, and you cut off this extra piece. Okay, now your bow gets a little mashed. That's okay. I will show you when your bow gets a little mashed. That's fine. You just put it on your wreath and you just fluff it up again. Because when it's tied with a zip tie, it's super tight. Look at how much you can manipulate this. Okay? Super manipulate your bow any way that you want. And it's on there. It's not going to go anywhere. And you're going to fluff it back up. You're going to put it where it belongs. And put all the pieces back where they belong. This is much easier to do while it's hanging on a wreath than just laying on the table. But I think you guys get the gist of this. Okay, so there we have our, and you'll just keep on fluffing it until it's the way that you want it. Yes, use a zip tie. I personally like using a zip tie just because you can see how tight I can get this, right? So you can get it super tight. But what I do is I put the pipe cleaner in the back of the zip tie, and then I make, I tie this really tight. Usually I always cut, I'll just use the scissors and I'll just cut this off. I cut off the excess zip tie, and now I have the pipe cleaners back here, and this is what's going to go on my wreath, these pipe cleaners. And this is what's going to attach to the wreath. So I just haven't been using the zip ties because I've been out. But here you can see now we've got our bow. We just have to fluff it up, which I'll do when I put it on a wreath. But there is the bow. There you go. Beautiful, and it all matches and everything looks great. You just have to keep fluffing it. But that's how you make a 3-layer bow. What did you miss? Well, Carol, that's why I say when you lift up the bow, you have to keep your thumb right on the top here of your dowels, because that's going to help you when you're lifting your bow and you keep your thumb there. It's going to help you get a really good grasp. Oh my God, grasp is the word I'm looking for. And it's going to help you be able to push down while these two fingers are pushing up. Does that make sense? So you're essentially, when you have your bow here in your Bowmaker and you're pulling it up, as your forefinger and middle finger come up, your thumb is pushing down. So that when you come up together, you're squeezing it really, really, really tight. So yeah, the zip tie absolutely. Oh, you missed the zip tie? Oh, Wendy. So that's how you make it really tight. And then when you use the zip tie, it makes it even tighter for you. But you don't forget to put your pipe cleaner in the back of your zip tie so you can attach it to your wreath. So that's super important too, because I've done that a couple of times and it's not been good. So listen, I'm going to make a swag right now, And I'm going to do it on the table because I already have my camera set up and everything. So if you all want to hang around, I will be making another bow. So if you want to watch me make another bow and you want to see me go through it again, you're more than welcome to stay and hang out. If you don't, then have a great night. It's totally up to you. And that's what I got going on tonight. So if you're just gonna, if you guys are leaving, thank you for watching the tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Yeah, Carol. It took me a long time to figure that out. So now I've got a beautiful bow. I have no clue what I'm gonna do with it. But let me go grab some stuff for the swag that I'm gonna make. And I'll get to it. Give me just a minute or two.